Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I Ashish Arora welcome you all in today's class. Today we are going to discuss a very important concept of economics, that is Phillips curve. It is very important for NET examination and several other examinations. This Phillips curve is basically a work which suggests the relationship between unemployment and inflation. As we can see, we study economics in two phases, short run and long run. What does short run mean and what does long run mean? Short run tries to make a trade-off between output and employment. Output and employment. That means low output means low employment, more output means more employment. Long run means output can be reached with the level of investment, while in short run investment remains constant. As we can see, low inflation means high unemployment, high inflation means low unemployment. That is the relationship which Phillips curve tries to find out. So we are going to discuss that in detail. So proceeding further, now coming to the meaning of Phillips curve. Phillips curve is basically tries to make a trade-off or a relationship between a rate of unemployment and rate of inflation. As we know, the inflation means, what does inflation mean? Inflation means fall in the purchasing power of money. Fall in purchasing power of money. Or you may say it is nothing but rise in general price. Rise in general price. हिंदी में हम इसे बोलते हैं महंगाई, inflation. So inflation is good or bad. So Phillips has found out that relationship. So we are going to discuss that. So hopefully you are aware about the meaning of inflation now and the meaning of short run and long run. So what is Phillips curve? Phillips curve is an economic concept that depicts, that means represent, an inverse relationship between the rate of unemployment and the rate of inflation in an economy. It suggests that with the lower unemployment, inflation tends to be higher and vice versa. That means if the rate of inflation rises, if rate of inflation rises, then rate of unemployment will fall. That's how. That's how. This is your Phillips curve. Phillips curve. Here we represent rate of inflation and here we represent rate of unemployment. That means if unemployment is falling, inflation is rising. If inflation is falling, unemployment is rising. Both has inverse relationship. Both has negative relationship. That means lower unemployment with higher inflation rates and higher unemployment with lower inflation rate. Vice versa, that it suggests. So Phillips curve is named after an economist, A.W. Phillips, who did his work on the historical data of United Kingdom. And the relationship was made public in 1958 by A.W. Phillips. Now proceeding further towards that, basically the thing is that if the inflation rises, business would have more money. So how would they distribute their income, their money? By paying higher wages, by giving more income, by giving more things to the people. So it will raise the general price level in the economy. That's how. Raise in the wages attract scarce labor, leading to increased consumer spending, higher prices resulting to inflation. Conversely, higher unemployment leads to lower wage rate and reduced inflation because the people would have less money to spend in the market. If the inflation is rising, as we have seen, wage price spiral, it is more similar to that. Wage price spiral, that price catches the wages and wages catches the price. That means कि अगर महंगाई ज़्यादा होगी तो प्राइस बढ़ेंगे और उनसे जुड़े हुए जो भी लोग हैं उनको ज़्यादा वेजेस हमको पे करनी पड़ेगी. अब ज़्यादा वेजेस पे करेंगे, they will spend that in the market, and due to demand pressure in the market, the price of the things will rise. Similarly, if the inflation is rising, firm will pay more to the labor, firm will pay more to other factors, so it will increase the rate of inflation. On the other hand, if the unemployment is more, So the firm would have, the people would have less amount to spend. That's how the price level will fall. It simply means. So this is your Phillips curve. This is rate of inflation and this is unemployment rate. It is falling. It is falling with rise. So how, which kind of slope does it has? Downward sloping. Downward sloping from where? From left to right. Left to right. And which kind of slope does it have? Concave or convex? It's convex. It's convex. Why does it have a convex shape? Because the slope of curve depends upon a marginal value. Depends upon marginal value. If the marginal value is rising, then slope would be concave. If the marginal value is falling, then slope would be convex. Here, marginal value is falling. If the inflation rate is rising, unemployment rate is falling. That means both has negative relationship. When marginal value will fall? When two variables have negative relationship. When marginal value will rise? When two factors have positive relationship. As we have seen in the case of indifference curve, the slope was convex. When we look into the production possibility curve, the slope is concave because the marginal value is rising in the case of production possibility curve, while it was falling in the case of indifference curve. So this is your short run Phillips curve. This is your short run Phillips curve. This is not long run Phillips curve, because long run Phillips curve is known as NIRU, non-accelerating inflation rate of unemployment. That we will discuss later, because after 1970 certain changes have come. So why? What is the importance of Phillips curve? Phillips curve helps the policy maker to control the inflation rate. Who controls the inflation rate in the economy? It's the central bank. Central bank by which policy? By monetary policy. So who decides monetary policy? Your central bank. And who decides fiscal policy? Fiscal policy will be decided by the government. The government. Fiscal policy is income and expenditure policy of the government. Which kind of monetary policy will government follow? Will central bank follow during the case of inflation? They will follow contractionary monetary policy. Contractionary. They will reduce the money supply. They will reduce the money supply. And during deflation, that means when the rate of inflation is very low, that means unemployment is very high. So raising the level of employment is the main task of the government. So they will follow expansionary monetary policy. That means they try to increase the money supply in the economy. Expansionary monetary policy. So that makes a sense. That Phillips curve is helping them out to make the policy. So this is the significance of Phillips curve. So key points, when we look into the key points, it suggests an inverse relationship. It helps in making the policy. It is for both short term and long term. We are going to discuss about long term Phillips curve, LR, long run Phillips curve, that is known as NIRU, non-accelerating inflation rate of unemployment. That means inflation won't affect the level of unemployment. Non-accelerating inflation rate of unemployment that emerged after 1970s. Policymaker used the Phillips curve to predict the effects of economic policy. It like reducing unemployment will lead to higher inflation. That makes a prediction. If you are reducing unemployment, this is not a rocket science. If you are reducing unemployment, that would definitely bring more money in the economy. If more money in the economy has been brought, then there would be more spending capacity in the hands of people. Then definitely the rate of inflation would increase. But it may not accurately predict. Why? Because in long run, several factors work: supply shocks, expectations, globalization, and can affect its accuracy, as it took place during 1970s when a concept stagflation came into being. Stagflation that took place in U.S. economy, United States of America economy, U.S. economy, and it took place over several years. Like stagflation is a situation where rate of unemployment is high as well as rate of inflation is also. There, the Phillips curve failed to meet the expectation. Then the Phillips curve was modified. Then they made a long run Phillips curve, because in 1970s economist has considered it that the Phillips curve is of no use, क्योंकि वहाँ इन्फ्लेशन भी बहुत ज़्यादा था, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट भी बहुत ज़्यादा थी. लेकिन फिलिप्स कर्व के अकॉर्डिंग क्या होना चाहिए? If the unemployment is less, then the inflation would be high. If unemployment is more, then inflation would be very less. But there was a concept that got developed during 1970s. That was stagflation. Stagflation. Stagflation, that means high inflation. The economy is high on inflation as well as high on unemployment. High inflation and high unemployment. Because the economic growth is struggling. Economic growth is struggling. So that's how they came to know that economic growth needs to be addressed. That's why they have modified what? They have modified inflation, modified Phillips curve with the expectation of future inflation, because they have made the modification with several anticipation. That anticipation is known as NIRO, non-accelerating inflation rate of unemployment. That means it is an assumption that inflation won't cause any change in unemployment. So this is your long run Phillips curve, that is on an assumption. That means the inflation won't change any rate of unemployment. This is short run Phillips curve and this is long run Phillips curve. So the Phillips curve contains both. Phillips curve contains both short run as well as long run. So hopefully the concept of Phillips curve is clear to you. This topic is very important and very complex. Phillips curve is basically tries to make a trade-off between rate of unemployment and inflation. High inflation means low unemployment and low inflation means high unemployment, as we can see in short run. But this concept was working till 1970, before the emergence of stagflation. So you will say when, or if the question comes, when was Phillips curve modified? In 1970. Due to what? Due to stagflation. So Phillips curve contained both short run Phillips curve as well as long run Phillips curve. Thank you so much everyone. We'll meet in the next class. We'll be discussing some other topic. Stay connected with my channel by subscribing it. Thank you so much everyone.